guys. So thank you as always to everyone that comes and watches our Leia Shaw's.
You gotta talk up. I don't think they can hear us.
Leia and Sha's relationship discussion, whatever. And tonight, with our 12th video, we will be discussing when one of you has checked out of the relationship and how you, identify that.
Identify it and what to do. Checking out a relationship. I think we've all experienced that before, including us and other relationships where it's not that you check out, it's just that you're, no longer interested. It's tough because you put so much time and effort into it. But, what are the signs that you know that somebody's checked out of the relationship? One of them, of course, is, a lack of communication. And that goes on many levels. I've done you get the phone call and, you ignore it. You don't answer it to the next day, or you disappear for a couple of days, or you leave the text message on read and you don't, reply at all. Those types of things, can start, that dissension and you become distant. But then there's also, just a lack of interest. You no longer want to hear what they have to say. Pretty much everything that, your significant other or your partner says, it's a, I don't care. It no longer matters to me type of thing. And
it's a indifference type of thing.
When indifference sets in, it's pretty much over. It's one thing to be dealing with somebody and they're always complaining and always, quickly to be annoyed at anything that you say to them. It could be the simplest thing. What you want for breakfast? Why are you asking me that? What, and it could be anything. But it's when it stops. My mom, she was a disciplinarian for me and my brothers, and one of the things that one of the things that used to happen is she would yell at us, she would scream at us, keep us in order, whatever the case. And I had did some dumb stuff, and it was the most frightening thing ever. It was because when I told her what happened, and when she found out, she didn't yell, she didn't scream, and that's when it's scary, because it's on that borderline of they may not care enough. When they stop yelling at you and they stop complaining, they might be out there already doing what they do, in your relationship. So it's just a matter of time before, the breakup is imminent. But, it just creates that vicious cycle between the two. But, it could be different signs, body language, that's a big thing. We read an article about, how someone just faces you in a gathering, your significant other, and it shows a lot, depending on, if the relationship is still working, but then other people can see it. So, you just want to do what you can do in that relationship as much as you can do, but what are some of the things that, you should do, and of course communication is the top thing. And we kind of touched on this before when we said when you're not on the same page, you want to be able to communicate with your partner. You want to be able to talk to them, even if it's not just about each other, just talking period, just opens up the conversation, and hopefully you'll get that vibe back. But when that vibe is gone, it's just the worst. But the reason I bring all this up is I recently had some conversations with a couple of people, and this seemingly is something that occurs, more often nowadays. I'm not sure why, but people just checking out of the relationship, just no longer being interested, but don't want to break up. It could be because they have children, or it could be because they have a history together. They don't want to start over. They're pretty much settled in, but that's not healthy for either one of you. Right. It's not healthy for either one going forward in that moment, and it just breeds more dissension. Do you recommend therapy in some cases?
Yeah, be it in a relationship or a marriage, if one of you is like really wants to make the relationship work and continue, I do recommend therapy, but it's all on how receptive the other person is going to be. If they're just writing it off, then at that point they really don't care and they really don't want to continue in on this. So I do recommend bringing it up, especially if you want to make that last ditch effort to make things work. But if that person is truly like, I don't think anything's going to help, then nothing truly is going to help. And you, at that time, would just need to move on.
It's unfortunate, but yeah. And we had posted this earlier, and the feedback was pretty much the same. It's like, it's not healthy, you know. If that person doesn't want to be here, then peace, you know. It's just, in some cases, it's quite difficult for people to, you know, just let go just like that. And then for others, it's, you know, it's my life. I need to protect myself, my family, my heart, and keep it pushing. But if you do decide to communicate with the other person, the one thing I would say is to try to listen more than speak. They could have a lot more going on that, you know, you may not be as sensitive to. You may try to cut them off as they're talking to try to get a better understanding. With really, sometimes people just want to be heard. You know, that comes in relationships where there's a lack of identity for one of them. You know, they're losing a bit of themselves. They don't know who they are anymore. So when they're talking, you know, they don't really feel like they're being heard. They don't feel like they're being, you know, understood. And, you know, they grow tired. They grow angry, you know, and it's not a good thing. They just continue in that vicious cycle. So you have to take that moment to pay attention, just listening to them. You know, you go to therapy, you go to any psychiatrist, they're just going to listen. They're going to formulate a question for you to be able to identify in your mind that this is something relevant enough to say, or for the first time to have the freedom to say it.
Right.
Okay? And I think that's what happens in relationships and marriages too, where, you know, you're so used to what you're used to and how you talk to each other that you're kind of scared to bring up new things or scared to talk about certain things. And because of that, you're holding that in. And they don't get it. They don't understand because you're not saying it. So say it. And vice versa. Let them say it. You know, sometimes just be quiet. You know, I talk a lot, as you can see, right? With this condom on my head.
Oh my God.
But you want to have those, you want to be able to talk freely, you know, with each other. I mean, the biggest thing in relationships is when you're going at each other's necks, and one of them is always, it's you, and you. You know, always pointing the finger. Something going wrong, it's this person, it's that person, it's my boss, it's my girlfriend, it's my brother, it's somebody, it's always somebody, and they're just pointing the finger. You know, when you've tried everything, okay, and I mean try everything, you know, in your relationship, if it's worth it to you, you know, to make sure it's not you. Okay, if you've tried everything and you've given 110, 130%, and you know when you haven't been giving your all, really be there and give your all for that last token, for that last 30 days or 90 days, and really check in to the relationship. And if they've already checked out in that time, then you know it's not you. And if they're pointing the finger, just gracefully walk over and put a mirror right in front of them. And let them point at the one person that's not going to talk back, but knows all the answers to your problems. It's them.
Yeah.
All right? So, you know, those that are, you know, struggling in their relationships or fighting with it, talk.
Absolutely.
You know, you need a mediator, do so, you know. But talk to each other. You have to, because the minute you stop talking to each other, the moment you stop talking to each other, and it doesn't matter that you haven't spoken to the individual, it's pretty much the beginning of the end. You know, and if you really want that to work, you both have to work on it. You both have to want to be there. And if it's only one of you, then guess what? You know, this ship is about to sail, with or without you.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is all him today. He's just...
Yeah, this was heavy on my heart, y'all. This was heavy on my heart. So I really wanted to express, you know, this particular topic and others that, you know, that'll be coming up soon, where, you know, people are really in their feelings lately, and it's hurting, other people that are really meaning to be there. And I won't get too far into it because I'm gonna get real upset about it. But thank y'all for tuning in as usual. We'll be back next Monday doing this all again. We'll have another fresh topic for everybody. If you've missed any of our previous videos, you can log on to our fan page on Facebook at Leia Sha, LeiaAndsSha. You can also be able to go onto our website at kellumunlimited.com, and you can look at our blogs there where we talk about other topics and different things going on in relationships and marriage, as well as our progress on our book. So we appreciate y'all always, checking in, also giving your feedback on the comments. Please share the video. We want as many people to be able to get, this information or have questions, and we're open to answering all of them, and just have a great week. Stay blessed, stay safe, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.